The stupidest deaths in history. Whether you're a deli worker or a sexually deprived mortician, you gotta love getting your hands on some cold meat, and the prime gentleman that was Sir Francis Bacon was no exception to that questionable rule. Francis Bacon was a man of science. In fact, he's considered to be one of the founders of modern science. Born as a tiny little strip back in 1561 in London, Bacon was a sickly little sprite and was always easily susceptible to illness. Remember that for later. Although he was a frail fellow, he was born into a wealthy, noble family. His father was a powerful politician, and his mother was highly educated, which, during Tudor times in England, was weird for women. Nevertheless, his fortunate family situation afforded him an extensive education while he laid in bed grossly coughing up gooey globs. Between the bouts of illness, however, Bacon had a profound proclivity for the sciences. At just 12 years old, he attended the prestigious Trinity College at the University of Cambridge to make himself smarter. In doing so, though, he started to get pretty peeved with how things were being done within the scientific community. He noticed that all these smarty pants people at the time kind of just sat around philosophizing on rather abstract aspects of the world instead of gathering evidence through practical experimentation.
I say, have you ever wondered why we're here on this earth?
I don't know, have you ever wondered why your eyes are so far apart?
Okay, rude.
This sense of scientific stagnation, he thought, was just holding humanity back from figuring out what really matters and what would actually benefit society as a whole. Now keep in mind, these were the early years of the scientific revolution in Europe, so his ideas were on par with the flow of scientific thought at the time. But if you wanted to spend time experimenting with and revolutionizing a whole-ass branch of science, you're gonna need to spend money. Lots of money. Francis just needed to get his little English mitts on some moolah. Taking advantage of his lineage and prowess, he began rubbing elbows with some major political powers. He even befriended Queen Elizabeth I herself before she crusted away into dust. He quickly rose to the ranks and established himself as a prominent political figure, eventually reaching the title of Lord Chancellor of all England in 1618. In case you're unaware, that's like the highest position of power outside of being the king or queen. Adapting his scientific method to politics, Bacon aimed to untangle legal knots and simplify laws, modernizing England's judicial system and sluggish legal processes.
He did it. Guilty!
Huh? Although his political career was flourishing, it ended rather abruptly. How? Well, you remember he needed a bunch of money, right? So ask yourself, how do politicians end up a whole lot richer than their salaries could ever possibly provide? Corruption. Yup, Bacon took a bunch of bribes, so he was ousted and quickly kicked from court in 1621 after a hefty fine and a brief stay in the